Okay, back to work, right? First week of practice, looking forward to it. Guys are ready to go. So looking forward to getting on that field today. Open it up.
Frank, I know Isaiah and Quiddy were a bit banged up in camp. How are they? And are they on track to play this week?
Yeah, they're both making good recovery. Isaiah's looked good, cleared protocol and is looking good. Same thing with Quiddy. Feel confident he's making the right steps. We'll evaluate as the week goes on.
Frank, who are your captains? You said you were going to announce that today.
Yeah, we did. We'll announce the captains today. On offense, right, it's Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor, and Quentin Nelson. On defense, it's Shaq Leonard, DeForest Buckner, and Kenny Moore. And special teams is Zaire Franklin.
Is that all player vote?
All player vote.
Coach, do you have like a motto or a saying, or sometimes you'll have themes for a season? Do you have one for the 2022 campaign?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about, we had a pretty significant team meeting where Carly Ursay spoke to the team. We showed a video that was, that I think was, personal to their family, but also really for our organization. When you walk in the front door there, Mr. Ursay has a quote about kind of keeping the circle strong. So that was something that we talked about, that Carly talked to the team about. I think her and her dad had kind of put this thing together, and really Carly engineered the whole thing and had a really cool video. So that was a significant moment, and I think a significant message, about kind of, right, football, there's a huddle, there's always a circle. Kind of defines a little bit what we do, so we just got to keep that strong, talking about what that means. And then we continue to have we've talked about, we have this blueprint slide, a lot of what we call our DNA stuff, the 1-0, the 1% better. We talk about our mission, things that, the things that we've talked about over the years that continue to be with us, that define, our identity, and kind of they inform our behavior. So those are things that we are always revisiting as we go.
Frank, in your history with openers, do you sense any trends, good or bad, about how teams react to playing first game in quite some time?
Yeah, I don't sense, I think each year, it's year by year, case by case, team by team. It's always interesting, when you start up, at home, on the road, or division opponent, non-division opponent, non-conference opponent, it differs, right? And we've had all of those. So I think it makes it exciting to open up on the road against a division opponent. Not that you need any reason for extra motivation or anything like that, but that's certainly, the trend a little bit of division opponents early on, I think, really gets everybody wired in, because those games are, they're all count, but they're certainly count more.
There's always excitement for week one. Is there a little bit more this year, just because it feels like it's been a long off season, there's been a lot of change, and then the way it ended last year, let's just get to the next game so we can move past the last one?
I think that's true, Zach. I do think, I think we hit a point this offseason, some point maybe at the beginning of training camp, where I think collectively, coaches and players, we all agreed, let's not talk about that anymore. You know what I mean? And I think it was appropriate. I think it was appropriate how long we talked about it, how long we felt it. We still feel it. The guys that were there, they still feel it. But we talked about it enough that I think we all felt like, okay, we're good. We learned a lesson that we need to learn, so let's move on. We got a new team, a new season. Now, that's an important part of the maturity process, coming together as a team. You got to learn from that stuff, but you got to move on.
You talk about the new season. Do you detect with Matt Ryan that part of him wants to prove something? Atlanta moves on. He's been around for a long time. Does he have something to prove?
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt he feels like that. I have no doubt we all feel like that. Every one of our players, I hope Matt feels like that. We all are motivated by different things, but at the same time, I don't think, and right, I shouldn't even be speaking for Matt, but it's a fair question. But I would say this, just getting to know Matt the way that I know him, he had such a great career, and he, left on good terms as far as relationship-wise, right? It never feels good when that happens. But he's such a pro, he understands that it does happen. I don't think there's anything too personal there, other than I think Matt's excited to be on this team with this organization. Nothing wrong with that. Great career in Atlanta, great organization in Atlanta, but this is a new chapter. He's excited about it. We're excited to have him.
Frank, is there anything to Carly's choice, your choice, whoever's choice to make it keeping the circle strong? You look back at last year, was the circle not strong enough?
I don't think so. I think that's been because that quote that is like right where the player's entrance is, that quote from Mr. Irsay has been there since I've been here. And I can just tell you from the times that I meet with Mr. Irsay, he talks about that a lot. Hey, let's keep the circle strong, and then so I think that's, this is a family-run organization. It starts with, I'm sure, the Irsay family, hey, keeping their circle strong, but their circle includes this organization. So, and we're part of that, and so we embrace that. We embrace what that means for us as a football team, and I think it's significant that it comes from our owners. I think that's pretty cool.
Frank, I know you guys didn't practice Monday, but assuming Shaq goes the next 3 days, would that be enough practice time, or do you feel like this is something where he's got to get past a handful of practices before he's ready for game action?
I mean, I really don't want to back myself into a corner because it's Shaq. Sometimes you get these guys who are superstar play. I shouldn't use that word, but players like Shaq, and you say, hey, we'd never do this, but you might do it for him. So I typically would think, Kevin, that I would need more than 3 practices. But I don't know. Could he practice 3 practices and play 15 plays in a game? Maybe. But I think we're just going to take it day by day. I'm happy with the progress that he's making. But he just needs more action. He just needs more action to gauge exactly what it's going to feel like. He's been cleared so he can do everything he needs to do. But like we said, he's far from 100%. But that's okay. He can play at 80%, and that's kind of a number I have in my mind. You know what I mean? I don't know if my 80% equals what his 80% is. That was something that Marv Levy used to, just talking to Coach Levy, that was, you get to 80%, you're good. You can play. You can figure it out and figure out how to play winning football. So we just have to talk through and see what that looks like.
What kind of shape is he in, just cardiovascular?
Yeah, I think he's in decent shape. I think that'll continue, as the weeks stack up. I think it'll continue to get better, but I know he's been doing a good job with it because he hasn't been limited in that regard. So there's other things you can do to be in condition. So, but there's always, as we all know, there's football condition. So that's what we have to get out on the field.
Will he be full today?
Yeah.
One of the things on rookies, there's like 10 rookies and a couple might start. Does it give you pause when you start rookies?
No, I don't know why it doesn't, but I don't, I don't know. I stopped getting past that phase a long time ago. You get these guys, the expectations are higher, turnovers higher. So, we don't rush anybody, but, these guys come in and, you throw them right into the fire and you see who can handle it. And, I think Chris has done an amazing job of drafting guys that can come in and play early and play winning football and contribute in a significant way. So, and part of it is, and Chris and I talk about this all the time, that's the only way for them to really develop. So don't be afraid, even if it's 10 plays here, 15 plays there. Get them in the action. That's the way you learn and get better.
On those lines, is there a moment with Nick Cross you think back to that kind of showed you that he's ready, that he could be an option to start week 1?
I can't say there's one moment. I just think it's the sum total of everything he's been, how he acts, how he prepares. I think he just gives you that feeling of confidence in what he's doing.